It's Goodwood Festival of Speed. Hopefully I'll stop finding distractions and see if the Corgi will kick into life. This Corgi is testing me. Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'm very pleased to say I'm in the workshop and we are working on the Corgi. I am waiting for a couple of deliveries to turn up. I've got a few parts that I'm waiting for, but fingers crossed, if everything goes to plan, I'm hoping to get the Corgi running in this episode. A lot of things need to go well for that to happen, so don't hold me to it. But before then, I have got somewhere exciting to go. Let's hit the road. Obviously, I'm not in the workshop. I'm in another random hotel. Dominic, Chinea. But tomorrow is a big day. It's Goodwood Festival of Speed. Before then, I have got to get my computer set up and send a load of files to Dan for editing. Another day, another hotel, another unsecure network. So I'm very glad to have Surfshark sponsoring today's video, and they've been very kind to offer you a fantastic offer. But we'll hear more about them in a few minutes. It's quite late in the day now. It's almost midnight. It's been a long old drive, a long day and a long drive. But tomorrow morning, I'm up at the crack of dawn, driving to Goodwood to wander around Festival of Speed. I cannot wait. Good night. I'm getting some sleep. Good morning, everybody. The sun is shining already. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. There are horrendous queues, but I'm in. Goodwood Festival of Speed is just around the corner. I can't wait to get in there. I did not actually get much sleep at all. That hotel last night was quite an experience. But I've made it through. Obviously, I had a lot of emails to do and a lot of files to send to Camera Dan, which means I needed to sign up and log in to the hotel Wi-Fi, which is an open, unsecure network. But luckily, I was not at risk because I've got Surfshark, and they are today's video sponsor. Surfshark are a VPN, which stands for Virtual Private Network. This encrypts the back and forth between my device and the internet, protecting my personal data by masking my IP address. Even an unknown Wi-Fi at a random hotel, I can send and receive all the files I need to securely. The VPN keeps my location and download history private by encrypting or encoding all internet traffic. Yes, I know data security is one of those subjects that, until you've had an issue, doesn't seem important. However, online fraud is increasing, and whatever you can do to protect your data is increasingly important. Don't wait until it's too late and you are already a victim to take action. You only need one Surfshark account and you can link unlimited devices, so that's your phone, your laptop, your tablet. It will all work with one account. Another great feature that Surfshark offers is it can give you an alternative ID when you need to sign up to endless websites to gain access. Surfshark's Clean Web feature blocks ads, trackers, malware, allowing you to surf the web safely. The best part is Surfshark have offered viewers of this channel 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN for free. Go to surfshark.com/DOMC, use the code DOMC at the checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN completely free. Surfshark VPN offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk in trying it out. A huge thank you to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring today's video, but that's enough about them. Let's get in to Goodwood Festival of Speed. By complete chance, literally just come into the show, just walked through, and the very first thing that I've stumbled upon is Duncan's Fiat and Ben's Mercedes, the two Edwardians that you'll recognise from members meeting and various other videos. Hopefully we'll see them going up the hill later, but it's always an absolute pleasure seeing them. Racing hasn't started yet, but this whole area is going to get a lot busier. I am incredibly lucky to have been invited into the house, not only into the house, but I've got a very incredible view of the track from the balcony. It's not even 8 o'clock yet, and it's already an incredible day, and we've got a lot more to explore. Yes, there's a lot of cars racing up and down the track like this, and apparently at the top in the woods there's a rally track, there's off-roading, there's all sorts of stuff. Let's see what else we can find. Goodwood is one of my favourite places to go. Luckily, it's just down the road from where we filmed the repair shop, so I do like to pop in wherever possible. throughout the year, there's so many amazing events at this place, whether it's Festival of Speed at the house, the hill climb. Members meeting is a favourite because that's where all the Edwardians are. Goodwood Revival is an event that's very close to my heart because I have my Revive and Thrive workshop area where we work with a load of craftspeople and showcase heritage crafts. Honestly, there is so much going on at Goodwood throughout the year. It's a highlight every time I get to go there. Back that way is the track and all the trading sort of area over the far side of the track. My goodness, it is hectic, especially in this heat. It's so busy. I've had a good look around, but I'm now going into the woods up to the top of the hill where I've never been before, never actually made it this far. I think there's off-roading and things up here, but I really don't know. I'm going in blind and you're coming with me. I couldn't come up here and walk past the Porsche stall. Yes, there's lots of new Porsches, which I don't actually know what they all are, but hiding out the back, there's a few classics. I cannot wait to get some proper power to the workshop so I can get all my machinery working and crack on with the 356. The poor thing is rusting away in the corner. What a treat to actually make it up to the off-road course. Wow, these vehicles are something else. Some of them look to be based on an early Land Rover, but massively modified, huge Maxxis tyres. They're something else. And seeing them race around this track is amazing. The dust that's kicking off, the noise. It's a very different experience to what's happening further down with the rest of the hill climb. Then, even further up the hill, there's a whole rally stage. I didn't even know this was here. I knew the off-roading was down there, but a rally stage as well, all through the woods. There's Subarus. There are so many incredible cars racing through between these trees. I can't actually believe that they're doing this so close to the trees and so close to the members of the public. It's terrifying, but very exciting to watch. Well worth the walk up to the top. It's amazing how much there is to see and do at Goodwood Festival of Speed. 1 minute you're looking at some beautiful old Ferraris, some Formula One cars, then you turn around and there's a BMX competition and people doing backflips and 360s on some huge dirt jumps. You all know that I love cars, especially classic cars, but secretly I do quite like BMXing as well. It takes me back to my childhood. I had a 24-inch sort of cruiser, I guess you could call it. But it was dirt jumps, playing in the woods, building bike jumps. I've been doing it since I was a kid. That explains why I've got such bad knees. It's incredible to watch. I've not been to a biking event for so long, for years. It's taken me back to my childhood and maybe given me a bit of an itch to get back on the saddle. You never know. I am braving it in this sweltering heat. There's a whole gaggle of F1 cars racing up the hill climb. I'm trying not to listen to that, heading up the hill to the off-road section because I know that Britpart are up here, and more importantly, Terrairma, who make amazing accessories and suspension and all sorts of parts for old Defenders. And you know, if you've been watching the channel, that I've just got myself a 110 pickup TD5 Defender from a new TV show that I'm working on. And that is in desperate need of some upgrades. So I'm hoping to catch up with the guys from Terrairma, speak to them about some of their suspension upgrades, maybe a set of wheels, who knows. This is really smart.
Yeah.
I love how these fix on.
I know. And
that's really good.
It's gone ahead of what the traditional box section and tubular.
The tubular one, that's what one of these has got. It's a horrible kind of tubular thing that comes around. That's awesome.
Yeah. You'd almost call it rally raid support suspension. 12 inches of travel, 2.5 inch body. I mean, they're like a coilover shock, but without the coil on the outside.
And you can leave everything else.
Yeah, so it's all
the axles and things are all, there's enough articulation.
So this is all based. It's all bolted to a standard chassis.
Wow.
So there's nothing fabricated. So you can take it all off, put it all back to standard if you wanted to.
That's incredible. Yeah. I hope that mine will be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah, I can't wait.
We can give you that combination of ride quality with the ride height that you're looking for. Make it look cool. Yeah. Not out of proportion.
With these tyres.
With wheels and
I
tyres,
love these tyres. Yeah. They're awesome.
Yeah.
They're fine on the road.
Yeah,
well,
good.
Slightly
noisy, but they're absolutely fine.
I'm not doing long miles in it though.
They do actually handle. The compound is very good. They do actually handle well on the road, and they stop well in the wet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So you've got my contact details. Give us a buzz in the week because I know you want to get on with it.
Yes.
And what I'll do is I'll create a spec for you.
Yeah.
Send you some images of what it's going to be.
Amazing.
And you can say, yeah, that's the way I want to set it up. And then we can go from there. And we can plug the gaps with the detail bits and pieces.
I've already done the rear cross member. Outriggers are
patched up, been patching them up, body mounts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just a typical scabby.
All those chassis members are all available as separate pieces to weld on if you wanted to repair
I should have done that. Thank you. I'll speak to you soon.
All right.
Thank you very much. It's late afternoon now, and I'm escaping early because I have got a long drive back down to Cornwall ahead of me. But my goodness, what a day it has been. It's been absolutely brilliant.
Well, after a long drive back home on the hottest day of the year, thank goodness my van has got air conditioning, it was time to get back into the workshop and try to get this Corgi running. First of all, I need to get the engine taken apart because I need to get access to all of the internals of the engine to free them all up, make sure they're all okay. So I start by removing the ignition housing, get this whole sort of magneto essentially off and remove that. And then there's these little cover plates on the side of the barrel. I don't know, I was expecting them to be some kind of reed valve or something like that. I'm not entirely sure what these do, but I'm taking them out of the way to try and gain access to where the piston is, where the piston rings are, so I can get some penetrant in there and soak it all to try and free the rings up from the bore of the barrel, because I think that is what's happened. Water's got in there, it's sat for so many years that the piston rings have just rusted and seized themselves to the inside of the barrel. It's definitely fixable if that's the case, but it's going to be some work.
Sorry about the noise. So far, everything looks in really nice, clean, or usable condition. I can't see any major failures or any reason why this engine has locked up and seized up, other than the rings stuck to the bore of the barrel. So by warming up the barrel, heating it up ever so slightly, it's going to expand it hopefully and break that bond. If that is the case, I should be able to gently lean on the kickstart and the engine should turn over, but I will be very cautious.
With a bit of heat and some leverage, okay, a lot of heat and a lot of leverage. It was a bit of a fight, I will admit, but the barrel eventually came off, which is fantastic news.
I think it's fair to say those rings would not have been sealing.
I used some industrial degreaser, gave everything a good spray, let it soak, give it a scrub, try and clean things up. Now it's time to tackle getting the piston off. There is a tiny little circlip in there. I've got some circlip pliers which just compress that and pull that out. That gives me access to the gudgeon pin. This little pin connects the piston to the connecting rod. I did use a little bit of persuasion, which I know is not ideal, but it was really stuck. Whilst I have been here working on all of this, the guys are at the other end of the workshop, starting on my brand new workshop floor. But you'll have to wait for my new TV show to see what they're doing. In the meantime, I've removed the carb and dismantled it, stripping it right down, cleaning it all out, because any old fuel that's stuck in there, any dirt, is going to be a problem. There's some tiny, tiny jets in here. It all needs to be pristine. Once that's done, I can put it all back together, and you can see now it moves nice and free, and I know that all the jets are nice and clear and everything is doing what it should be. Spare parts for this little Corgi are incredibly difficult to come across. If I was working on the Beetle, the Golf, anything like that, all of the parts are available. Service parts, gaskets, O-rings, things like that. I can find barely anything for this engine. And to reassemble all of these parts that I've taken apart, I'm going to need some gaskets. So the only option I've got is to make my own. Luckily, I've got these sheets of gasket material and a lovely punch set. This punch set is so nice. I think David Burville had one at the repair shop. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have one. I'm basically transferring the shape of the part that needs a gasket onto the gasket paper, measuring the studs or the bolts that are going through, and then punching the holes, cutting out the outside just with some scissors and making my own gaskets. It's really the only option I've got because, as far as I'm aware, none of these are available to purchase anywhere. So we'll make our own. Whilst the guys are making fantastic progress on the new workshop floor and the walls, they are also making a lot of noise in the workshop. So I thought I'd take a moment to do something a bit more relaxing and repaint the number plate. This isn't going to help the Corgi start, I will admit, but it's something that's got to be done and it's going to look so much better.
The piston rings were seized to this barrel on the inside bore, and that surface finish is so important. The rust had left a bit of a texture there, and obviously it sat for so long since the 80s, and that has taken its toll on the inside surface of that. So I've got this quite crude and fairly cheap honing tool which fits in the end of my drill. Whilst it's spinning, I'm moving it up and down to try and create a cross-hatched pattern and smooth out the inner bore. Any ridges or scrapes and dings or scratches on that inner bore will cause damage to the piston rings, which will mean they're not sealed, which means the engine won't run properly. So it's really important that the inside of this bore of the barrel is nice and smooth. Progress is ticking along with the Corgi in between everything else that I've got going on. And today, of all days, I'm literally here working on the workbench, and 2 meters in front of me is absolute carnage. Today is a big day. The concrete slab is being poured. I apologise for the noise in the background, but I wanted to share some good news with you. I have managed to find an original old stock, brand new, never used, complete ignition housing. It's the same brand as the original, the same age, and I've got the original box. Look at it, it is absolutely beautiful. This has been on a test rig and it's been tested and is working perfectly. Really strong spark. The debate I've got in my head now is whether I take the guts out of the inside of the new one and put them in the old housing, or just put this new one in complete, because it's ever so slightly different on the outside. I don't know if that matters or not. We'll have to see. And I managed to find a new set of piston rings, which is incredible because this is 15 thou over, so which means it's been sort of rebored and made slightly bigger at some point in its life. Fingers crossed they fit. Get the piston back in the barrel, get the barrel attached to the block. We can throw the ignition on. Fingers crossed, maybe we can try and fire it up. I ended up taking the leg shield off because the paint was bugging me, or the lack of paint was bugging me, and it was all surface rusty. So I thought if I just take that off, I will give it a clean, remove some of the rust, and then seal it with the oil, our favourite oil, that Offroading oil. Then I thought, oh, hang on, but then the mudguard looks rough. So I need to deal with the mudguard. Couldn't get the mudguard off unless I took the front wheel back off, which meant I have to take the front brake cable back off, then take the front wheel back off, then got the mudguard off. So the leg shield is drying, the mudguard is now oiled and drying. All that work is done. It takes a long time sitting there with a wire wall just cleaning it. Whilst I was at that point, I felt in the headset a lot of play. In the previous video on the Corgi, whilst I was whizzing down the little hill, I could feel the headset loose. So I thought, you know what, that's going to be dry as anything in there. There's a ring of ball bearings and there should be some grease. And whilst I'm looking at a bare front end with no leg shield and no mudguard in the way and no wheel, I may as well try and loosen it all up and remove the forks. Trouble is, the way the forks are designed, there's a little quick release bar with a little lever that runs through. That is to flip the bars down and fold the bars down. That was completely seized. And the time lapse I was trying to film when the battery died was me tapping the sort of lever back and forwards ever so slowly, very gently, just trying to free it up. A lot of penetrating oil from WD-40, thank you very much, WD-40. I ended up having to use the blowtorch, heating it up, warming it up, expanding it ever so slightly, and that eventually broke it free. It was a fight the entire way, but I got it wound out all the way, no damage. The quick release bar came through, the forks came apart. You missed all of it because the battery died. I've just been up to the house, I've got a new battery. I've got all of the ball bearings cleaned, all of the races cleaned up, greased, and I'm about to throw the forks back in, tighten it down so there's no play. and then rebuild it all back, and then hopefully I'll stop finding distractions and see if it will kick into life. Right, there is fuel in the tank. The carb is primed. Here goes nothing. I don't know why it won't start. Maybe if I put the shield on the front, the Corgi will feel a bit more confident. It was there. It was there. There's literally smoke coming out of it. Dear me, this Corgi is testing me. I don't know what I do wrong with these old bikes, but this seems to be a very continuous theme. I'm obviously doing something wrong. It just doesn't quite fire. You can hear it. It's coughing, and there's literally smoke coming out of it. It's firing. I've got a really good spark, I've tried both magnetos or sets of ignitions, back to the original one, which has got a really strong spark, so I didn't need to actually replace it after all. I've tried adjusting the timing, like with the way that's just a certain amount of adjustment with that magneto sort of plate. I've tried all of that. I've done a compression test. There's perfectly good compression. I've cleared the carb out a couple of times, taken it apart, even with a spray of Easy Start, which I know nobody likes and I shouldn't do, but it kind of thinks about coughing, but not really. It sounds like a timing issue. And that's what I think I had a big problem with the Tiger. To say disheartening is an understatement. I've been working on this all week for, well, a long time. Cleaning up the paintwork, tidying everything up, replacing nuts and bolts, cleaning threads out, new rings, honing out the barrel. It's been a ton of work, and I just wish it would kick it and it would start, because everything's there. Something is wrong, and I don't know what. I'm sure that you guys in the comments will enlighten me, give me some ideas. My next stop is probably to take a visit and head over to see Sam Lovegrove, because I know that he has got a roller starter, which I can just sit this on, press a button, and it will essentially bump start it, because me standing here for hours on end kicking it over is tiring. Sam has a huge amount of knowledge with these old bikes, but unfortunately that's going to have to wait until another episode, because I've run out of time. The builders have been keeping me busy. The workshop is looking fantastic. The new floor is down. I can't wait for you to see it. The TV show is going to be something else. It's going to be good. We're well over halfway through filming it now, and things are progressing well. It's on UK TV, You and yesterday, I think, and it'll be out, I think, early next year, but don't hold me to that. I need Honest John here to relive trying to start the Tiger and push me up and down the yard. Now I've got a nice sloping workshop with a floor. It's the perfect runway. I'm just missing John. Any advice, let me know. I have now got to go into the field and spend the afternoon trying to plant 12 yew trees. Luckily I have got a digger to help, but that's going to be my afternoon. Of course, a huge thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. Click on the link below in the description to check them out. Use code DOMC to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Thank you, Surfshark, and thank you for watching. Sunday, 5 PM. We'll see you next time.